I'm talking to Robin Wall Kimmerer. I'm so excited, the author of Gathering Moss, who is a bryologist, a specialist on moss, and we are going to learn from her what we can glean from the micro to understand the larger world. I was wondering if maybe we can start with a piece from the book where you talk about the difference between Indigenous teaching and sort of the traditional American way of teaching.
In traditional Indigenous communities, learning takes a form very different from that in the American public education system. Children learn by watching, by listening, and by experience. They're expected to learn from all members of the community, human and non-human. To ask a direct question is often considered rude. Knowledge cannot be taken. It must instead be given.
I love how you talk about everything in your environment having spirit, having emotion, having mind. What do you think science is missing out by not looking at those aspects of plants?
When we treat the world as object, we close the door on the possibility not of learning just about nature, but learning from nature. Western science tends to make me feel like all of the knowledge is supposed to be in my head. And in fact, it's in the world. And engaging, as you said, with mind, body, emotion, and spirit, using all those ways of knowing gives you a more complete picture.
Maybe if you could explain a little bit about how moss are so simple as creatures and yet can have such complex behaviors.
It's amazing, their ability to come back to life, as it were, to suffer tremendous stress and deprivation, but they're just waiting. They're just waiting to come back to life. They have this biochemical machinery that allows them to lay low for periods of stress and then flourish.
Are there implications for human life where like we thrive most, where there's just enough disturbance and just enough calm?
Absolutely. That disturbance generates biodiversity. And I think the parallels, the metaphorical parallels to human societies and indeed individual lives are profound. That we need to be renewed, and oftentimes that means letting go of the status quo, letting go of what felt all stable, so that something new can grow. Yeah.
I love you. That feels like one of the lessons we can learn from mosses in pandemic times. But you said that you asked your students what they feel they can learn from moss. Or moss. Do you say mosses? I guess for
Yep.
what we can learn from mosses in pandemic times. So, what were their answers, and what's your answer?
I think it's that notion of giving back that mosses are so good at, that I particularly think about in these constricted times of the pandemic, of asking ourselves not what am I missing, what don't I have, but what do I have? What do I have, and what can I do with these simple things and these simple experiences that I have and make something beautiful?
And so joyful to talk to you. Thank you.